While others rush in and make expensive mistakes, you're building a solid foundation for your business.
Welcome to the Overthinking to Outthink podcast, the show where we turn overthinking into powerful action. I'm Chaz, and if you've ever felt like your mind is racing in a million directions and you're looking to see it to your advantage, you're in the right place. This podcast is all about helping introverts like you to stop overthinking and start outthinking, embracing your natural strengths to lead with confidence, calm, and clarity. We'll explore how to break free from analysis paralysis, trust your instincts, and thrive as an introverted leader in a world that often demands more extroverted energy. Whether you're building your online business, leveling up your leadership at your 9-to-5, or just finding ways to own your quiet power, every episode will leave you with actionable tips and inspiring stories to help you take the next step with purpose and confidence. So if you're ready to stop overthinking and start out thinking, let's dive in.
Welcome. This is the podcast that turns your inner dialogue into your greatest advantage. And I'm Chaz. Today we're talking about something exciting. We're going to talk about how to build an online business that actually works better because you're an overthinker. If you ever thought about starting an online business but got stuck on the planning phase, you're not alone. I remember when I first thought about going online, I actually took 2 years after I created my LLC to actually start my online business. I was constantly in my head, what am I going to do? How am I going to start? What am I going to sell? All kinds of things that just constantly went through my head till finally I just decided I better get my butt in gear and get going. Times are running out. Well, like me, maybe you spent way too many hours researching different ideas, or you keep waiting for that perfect moment to start, which never comes, by the way. You just got to do it. But here's the good news. All that careful thinking can actually help you build a better business. So today we're going to turn your overthinking into a business advantage. I mean, just think about it. While others are rushing in without a plan, you naturally think things through. And while they're making expensive mistakes, you're spotting these problems before they even happen. That's not overthinking. That's smart business thinking. This business works very well for me as being that I'm an introvert, because I could actually think through things and I don't have to do anything until I'm actually mentally prepared, which sometimes could take a day or two. I just want to make sure that I'm mentally prepared, I'm in a good mindset, and I'm ready to go. So let's talk about an online business and why it's perfect for people like us who think deeply about things. Well, first you got to plan and research as much as you want before putting anything out there, which is awesome, right? Just like I said, you got time to think through exactly what you're going to put out there, whether it be on social media or podcasts or blogs or whichever your outlet is. And unlike a regular business where you need to open doors every day right away, you can build things step by step, and you can do it on your time. Secondly, you can test ideas without risking everything. You want to see if people like your idea, right? You can start small, maybe with a simple website or social media post, and then see how people respond. And third, and most importantly, for me anyway, is that you can work at your own pace. There's no pressure to be on all the time like in a regular business at a storefront. You get to think things through and create content when you're ready, and then you connect with customers in the way that most feels comfortable to you. I think that's really important because being that we overthink about everything and we're constantly thinking about our next move, we want to make sure that we're prepared mentally and we're ready so that we can feel comfortable. When we start just rushing into things, that's when problems begin. And I start getting stressed out and I just want to go and recharge because by the end of it all, I'm just mentally wasted. So, what kind of business would be right for you? Let's talk about choosing that kind of business and how to start. Instead of jumping on the latest trend, we're going to use your natural thinking style to find the right fit. So, to do this, think about what problem do you normally solve for people? Or what do friends and family always ask you for advice? Or what topics do you enjoy researching for hours? Those are main questions that you got to ask yourself before you get started. And have a real clear idea of how you want to do that. It doesn't have to pinpoint and be perfect, but you need to solve a problem for your listener or your viewer or your customer, right? I think it's a good idea that you ask advice from your family because they'll be straightforward with you. Actually, you guys already know what they normally come to you for. You certainly know some things, you've been through things, and your family more than anybody knows what those things that you've overcome are, and they'll come talk to you about it or ask you for advice about it. For example, if you love researching and organizing information, you just might be great at creating helpful guides or courses or offering research-based consulting or maybe even building detailed resource collections. But what if you're good at maybe solving specific problems? You can create step-by-step solutions or offer one-on-one coaching, or you can also build helpful tools or templates. There's so many of you that are so creative and you're just dying to get your creativity out. You just don't know how to get started. Well, this is the perfect way to do that. There's so many tools out there that can help you to use your creativity to create content that just resonates with people. But one thing that can happen is where you, as an overthinker, you get stuck. And you get stuck moving from the planning stage to actually doing it. So let's make this easier by breaking it into small, manageable steps. So one step is just pick one way to help one type of person. Don't worry about building a whole empire yet. I mean, that would be awesome though, right? But just focus on solving one problem for one kind of customer. It's like, you've heard it, getting your niche, right? Picking a customer that you can solve a problem for. Maybe you've been through it and you know how to get through it step by step and you can help them out. But just focus on solving that one problem for one kind of customer. I know maybe you want to go out there and you want to create content for everybody on the internet, but really you just need to pick one particular niche or type of person or problem that you're an expert at that you can help them with. And then for next step, you can create something small but helpful, like a guide or a helpful checklist or a short video explaining something. You see it all the time, especially on Instagram, right? And they'll give you a free guide if you put the keyword, and they use ManyChat to send you that free guide or that course just by putting that keyword in there. And for your final step, how about just showing it to people and get their feedback? This is going to give you real information to work with, which is way better than just guessing what might work. Now let's set up the basic pieces of your business. And we'll do this in the smart way. We'll just do it one step at a time. So start with something simple like a link in bio or a website. You don't need anything fancy. You don't have customers yet. So just don't overthink it. Don't create this world-class website right up front. You just need something simple for your customer to be able to go to grab whatever you created for them to have, like the checklist or guide. But just make sure it clearly shows what you have to offer, and that it makes it easy for people to contact you and get a hold of you. Reaching out through the DMs is such a good way to communicate with your customer or with your listeners, because it's more relaxed, and they're willing to ask questions. But most of all, have an easy way to collect email addresses. Your email list is going to be your most important friend. Think about it. You may have thousands and thousands and thousands of people on social media, on TikTok or Instagram. You have so many followers. But what happens if those platforms that you don't own, by the way, go down, just like it did recently, right? How many people lost all of those followers? Or a few years ago when Instagram went down, and it's possible you could have lost everything. And it just happens as glitches sometimes, right? But your email list, it's not going to go anywhere. You own that thing and you control it, and you can use it the way you need to do it for you. And then you got to pick a platform where your ideal customer hangs out and then focus there. But don't try to be everywhere at once. Don't go to every social media site. Try to put content every day on each one of them. You're just going to get burnt out. Now, there are a lot of tools like repurpose.io, which I use, and I find to be an excellent tool. You can create content and you can redistribute it in clips to all the different social media outlets. It just makes life a little bit easier. It gives you more time to yourself and more time to work on other things that you want to take care of, so you're not constantly out there trying to create different kinds of content for, say, Facebook, and then a different one for Instagram. Then you got Snapchat, and then LinkedIn. I mean, you can create one piece of content and send it out to each one using the same video, but you can just change up some of the headings or some of the captions, and there you go. You got 5 or 6 different pieces of content based off of one that you created. It's pretty awesome. And then you need some way to get paid, right? So you're going to set up some services like PayPal or Stripe, and they make this pretty straightforward. I use both PayPal and Stripe, and I've never had any issues. It's very safe and secure, and it works very well. Now you know what business you're going to start, and you've got everything set up so that you can get going. I know it's much more detailed than that, and there's a lot more to it, but we're just covering the basics right here, and we're just doing a high-level view of it so that you can get an idea of really how simple it is. Simple, but it does take work. So if you want to get started this week, which I suggest you do, here's exactly what you need to do. So choose that one problem you're going to solve, and then write down 3 ways that you can solve it. And then pick the simplest one to start with, and then take small steps to make it happen. Just remember, your careful thinking isn't what's holding you back. It's setting you up for success. Just start small, test your ideas, and keep moving forward one step at a time. Your overthinking can be your secret weapon in building a very successful online business. I got faith in you, and I know as an overthinker and as an introvert that you have what it takes. A lot of you are very business minded, and you already have a detailed mapping in your brain of how you want to do this. And you've been thinking about it for years. So get started. I know that I think back and I listen to other content creators and other podcast creators, and they're so successful, but they started years ago, and they've been working hard to get to the point where they're at now, and they're doing very well. The worst thing you can do is start, get frustrated, and then just quit. No business starts off being the top money maker. I mean, think about it. Any real business, like say some of the big organizations, they struggle for a year or two. You're building something that takes time, that you can pour yourself into and make something that's going to be successful for you. and that it's sustainable. Otherwise, you're going to get burnt out and quit, and so many people do. So just remember, you got everything it takes. But the worst thing you can do is change who you are. You are an introvert, and that's okay. Use that to your advantage. All of those characteristics of an introvert is just perfect for starting your online business and running your online business, as well as getting ahead at your 9 to 5, getting those promotions that you want. There's just step-by-step, simple ways that you can get started, but you got to get started. So just remember, don't change who you are, just you be you. I hope this resonated with you and that at least got you motivated a little bit to get started, because I know a lot of you are really business-minded and will succeed. So don't just wait, just get started today. Next week, we're going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about how to lead teams as an introvert. Yes, you are a leader. You just got to know how to use your introverted powers to lead people. So next week, we're going to start with that. We'll go with a 4-week plan, and we'll learn how to lead teams as an introvert. So until then, keep thinking deeply and take one small step forward. And most of all, you be you.
This is Drew Chaz, and you've been listening to Overthinking to Outthink. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another deep thinker in your life. And don't forget to subscribe for more strategies on turning your internal dialogue into external success. Until next time, keep thinking deeply and keep acting strategically. And most of all, you be you.